Testing 1 2 3. You guys hear me now? I just went through this whole spiel without a microphone. See, I told you it is live. So, to sum up everything I've said so far, welcome to the Islanders Live, and that was an epic fail. But we're going to make through all of these technical issues tonight. We're going to have fun. The topic tonight is theme park versus amusement park and where Kings Island fits in the mix. So we're going to see here. And thank you, Kenzie, for that as well. That was Kenzie. She just popped in. But I'm excited for tonight's topic. Man, live broadcast, I tell you what. So now I can even hear myself in the background. That's weird. But tonight's topic is going to be an interactive one, and I'll explain how I would like for everybody to interact later on. And that'll be the fun part of it. You guys get to help me with this topic. So, we'll get to there in just a moment. But like I said, it's going to be live, so we're going to roll with any curveballs we face. But to get into the theme of tonight, what is an amusement park is what we're going to start with. According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, amusement park is a commercially operated park having various devices for entertainment such as a merry-go-round and roller coaster. And what is a merry-go-round? It could be a whole nother topic. What's a carousel? What's a merry-go-round? There's so many different answers for that. Even Tim Trecker was asking that the other night. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother time. But back to the definition, and it usually booths for sale of food and drink. So your typical amusement park, that's the best way to describe it. So your Coney Island, your Stricker's Grove, for those who live in Ohio, you know what that is. Just your little small town park almost. Nothing to the scale of Disney or Universal, which... that's a whole nother topic too with Universal. They're expanding past Florida and Hollywood. So that's neat to see them going out to different states, but I digress there. So what's an amusement park? It is simply a park, a commercially operated park having various devices of entertainment such as roller coasters and rides and food and beverage sales. Now let's look at what a theme park is. And for this here, it is an amusement park which has structures and settings based on a certain theme, a central theme. So your Disneys and Universals, you can think of, for Universal, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Diagon Alley, and Hogwarts, and you can think of Epic Universe with the rumored Fantastic Beast and all that. Springfield with The Simpsons, you got New York with Jimmy Fallon, all these different areas within Disney. You got the Star Wars land, I had to think there, Toy Story Land, and all those different things. So a theme park is basically an amusement park with themes added to it. It could be an IP or an original theme. And that's what we're going to look at tonight with what is Kings Island. And based off of those descriptions, we can assume that Kings Island is an amusement park. Not a whole lot of theming, but I would almost say it's a borderline. It's on the middle of being a theme park, but it's still an amusement park. And if you participated in the poll beforehand, we asked what your thoughts were, and I don't even know where I can view the results, but I'm sure many would have said it could have been a theme park, it could have been an amusement park. But in my opinion, I think it's an amusement park that has the potential to be a theme park. And that's what I want to talk about tonight. And this is a topic I've been wanting to cover, honestly, since the beginning of the Islanders. With Cedar Fair moving more towards immersive theming. And we can see that with the two brand new areas. Recently in 2020, with the addition of Area 72, and with the coming Adventure Port this year, which I'm excited for that, because I think this will be something we've never seen at Kings Island ever. So this is going to be a neat, interactive, innovative area. And I actually was looking at this earlier today on Kings Island's website. On their homepage, it says, for more than 5 decades, Kings Island has been the premier entertainment destination of the Midwest for literally millions of families seeking the best in food, live entertainment, food, Cincinnati events, all in a magical amusement park setting. So I think that can settle our debate here that Kings Island is an amusement park. But we can make Kings Island a theme park, and I think I know how we can. With, again, Cedar Fair moving more towards immersive events, live shows, even themed areas. We could think of Adventure Port, like I said. Carowinds this year is getting a whole aviation area. We can think of, was it Donnie? A couple years ago, Jungle X. But all these areas are finally getting some life and breath into them. So what I want to do tonight is I have Kings Island's map with me right here. Here we go. Here's Kings Island's current map as of 2022. We have not received the 2023 map this year yet, but here's the current map and state of Kings Island. And what I want to do is break down how can Kings Island be a theme park. So tonight I need your guys' help. I'll be breaking down some of these areas, and I want you in the comments section to give me some ideas and your thoughts on these areas and what could be done, what you think could happen with these themes, or even some themes you come up with. So we're going to be breaking down each and every one of these areas. Each of these boxes here represent a theme for a different area of the park. And these are themes I've come up with. They're not... here we go. Here's the actual one I'm looking at. But each of these represent a different themed area. And we're going to break down each of these current areas and how they can receive a theme to go along with it. So the first one I want to go for is the obvious. The obvious being Adventure Port and Area 72. We don't need to do anything for these two because they are current standing themed areas. So Adventure Port is in the former October area, or Oktoberfest area, located between the current Action Zone and current Coney Mall area, right by the Fest House. It's undergoing a major overhaul and theme enhancements, including 2 new family rides, an overhaul to the Adventure Express, which I heard this from an interview from one of Kings Island's higher-ups, I guess. And he said for Adventure Express, they're bringing back what was originally planned for the ride but never made it to the ride. So based off of that, I'm sure we can look at previous concept art and draw for what we can expect possibly for it. But I'm sure Kings Island's going to knock it out of the park and make it the best they can because it's Kings Island. They do a phenomenal job with everything they do. We've seen that with the 50th anniversary. No major additions for the 50th anniversary, but everything they did from the shows to entertainment, the food, and just overall enhancements to the park, they can knock it out of the park. No pun intended. But tonight, we know what we know about Adventureport and Area 72. I want to throw some ideas out to you all, beginning with the pink area right here in the middle. And I actually didn't highlight the front of the park out in the plaza. I should have, but what we currently know as International Street, Kings Island could dedicate it to the history of the park and the origins of the park, it being a family park with different memories. So as you're coming out to the front of the park, you notice some changes. You're seeing the same ticket booth, you see the same turnstiles, but we're going to change it up and call it Kings Plaza. So Kings Plaza here begins as soon as you step foot to the security checkpoints, even right in front of the turnstiles. It will move all the elements from the current Tower Gardens out front, so all the pavers will be out there, all the historical signs will be out there, just giving the history and love, or the love the park has for its history out front and center for all of those who are entering the park for the very first time. So entering the current International Street, now Kings Plaza, and I do want to put out this disclaimer, I don't know anything behind the scenes. So all this is my vision and thought. There's nothing I know behind the scenes. There's no insider information I know. I'm just a fan of the park, speculating and kind of giving my thoughts of how this park could be a theme park. But what I can see International Street being is brought back to life from 1972, how the park originally started. Just that fresh family vibe. And you can do so much, as we've seen with the 50th anniversary, so many nighttime entertainment, daytime entertainment, just to bring the life of Kings Island to life as soon as you step foot through the park. So, and if anybody has any thoughts on these, feel free to throw them in the chat as well. We'd like to talk about those as well, even if we have to come back to a certain area. But so Kings Plaza is the first area I'd see come to the park. Just bring the rich history of Kings Island to the very front of the park in a themed area. The next area, we're going to work counterclockwise. We're going to start over here, International Street, and work our way over to the current Planet Snoopy Kids area. This is an area that has stood the test of time with Kings Island, has remained the family focus heart of the park. And for here, there are some things that lead me to believe this could actually happen at Kings Island. So if you pay any attention to the webcams on the Kings Island website, there's a certain camera facing Planet Snoopy right now with the title Camp Snoopy. So for this area, I can see Camp Snoopy coming and expanding the area from its current area, starting over by the International Showplace, all the way over to Boo Blasters, and all the way back to Soak City and the current Rivertown area. You can expand this area possibly over to the Picnic Grove, to where you can even incorporate the Picnic Grove and theme it to the Peanuts. All the pavilions could be named after each of the Peanut characters, include some scenic elements, and even some small flat rides back there to expand the family area of Kings Island. And this area has been proven to be one of the best theme park kids family areas out there. And for many years it had won the Golden Ticket Award for best family area, and that even goes back to the 2000s, back in the Paramount days, all the way up till Cedar Fair bought them. And it wasn't until recently that they lost that title to Dollywood. But this area could reclaim that title as the best family park themed area. So they could theme it to Plant Snoopy and tie it into Rivertown, and to complete that wood theme, that camp out theme, and can also tie it into Ohio and the Kings Mills area of the park, and we'll talk about that more in just a moment. So we can revisit these topics later on, and I'd love to go in depth on my thoughts of what rides could come here, but that's not tonight's idea for the topic. But I just want to get out some themes that could make Kings Island a theme park. But after you walk through Camp Snoopy, you head towards the water park, what is known as Soak City. And again, going with Kings Island, tying it into making that water park its own thing and not a chain theme as Soak City. You can name it to Paradise Island and make its own backstory of there being an island where Kings Island currently resides, and the water's still there. Some of the elements of the island are there, so the palm trees, the all the cabanas and all that stuff is still intact, even behind Soak City. You can make it that, and continue that storyline and immersiveness of the water park. So Paradise Island taking over Soak City. Again, these are not concepts that are from the park. These are just my own. The next one is Rivertown. Rivertown will be expanding its theming. I could see them taking the current layout of Rivertown from the Diamondback Outpost area, and even working it all the way over to the La Rosas by the Beast. So you can make this whole area themed to the backstory of the Kings Mills and Miami Valley company. So the lumber company could have just been in their prime, and you can go even deeper into the backstory of Mystic Timbers and experience the true Rivertown of Kings Mills, Ohio, in Mason, Ohio. So you could theme the current Whitewater Canyon into the Ohio River, going down the Ohio River, and include some elements into there to even incorporate it into Mystic Timbers, tying those two rides together. The possibilities are endless for that area. Each park, it seems like, has some kind of western frontier town, and Kings Island can definitely bank on that theme with Kings Mills and Miami Valley Rivertown. So we got that. And we're working our way around to a little piece of land that's just there right now. The only thing that's in there is the former Italian Job stunt track, current backlot stunt coaster. You could turn this into a nice little shaded area full of seating, a nice little park area that I would like to call Cedar Parkway, and theme it to some of the New York parks there, have a little fountain or so. Expand Rivertown to the Jukebox Diner. You could do that and add some even more elements to that. That is true. But if you wanted to keep the theming simple and keep the backlot stunt coaster, you could just do Cedar Parkway and make it seem like a taxi New York style area. And I'm seeing in the comments too that you could expand Rivertown over to Jukebox. Absolutely, you could, and even retheme or take out Backlot Stunt Coaster and put a new flat ride experience there, themed to the Rivertown. Absolutely. But the possibilities are endless, especially with the prime real estate of the former Vortex area. Yes, it's currently being used for the fireworks extravaganza, the Fun Fireworks 50, but you could do so much with that. Level out the land and add some more flat rides, even another coaster. I don't know. But the possibilities are endless for that. But I think with Kings Island's history and just the area of Ohio and who Ohio is, you could really capture so much with Rivertown and expound that story just like Knott's Berry Farm's Ghost Town. If you know anything about Ghost Town at Knott's Berry Farm, they do a phenomenal job, and they even incorporate it into several events throughout the year, such as their Halloween haunt, Knott's Scary Farm. They have even an event called Ghost Town Alive, where they just bring life to that area. And Kings Island could bank off of that so much, and just the rich history of Ohio. So that is Rivertown and Cedar Parkway, which you could do. You could go so many directions with that, and that's the cool thing about this is we all have our different thoughts for the park, and it's neat to just see different people's ideas and thoughts of what could happen, and to make the park even better for future years of the park. So next is the famous Coney Mall, and for this one I don't want to touch it, but I do want to expand the history of Coney Mall. This is one of the original long-standing areas of Kings Island, and we want to bring back that history, take you back to the 1970s and the original form of Kings Island back when it first opened. The racer's still there and running, and you can just bring back that original vibe that was there. Absolutely. And in the comments we see here that you could even add a show venue there to like a bar, kind of like what they have at Cedar Point. They have a little saloon there. You could even tie that into Rivertown. Absolutely. And we know that the park is heavily focused on their culinary food aspects of the park, and Chef Major's done a fantastic job, and they can absolutely do that. The possibilities are endless. But back to Coney Mall. What I can see here is just having that 1970s vibe, bringing back those old topiaries that look like a push pop. If you've seen the original pictures of Kings Island in 1972, just the plants and environment, it is so 70s. And you could definitely bring that back and bring that original life to Coney Mall there. And I had a little fun with the logo for that, the original Kings Island font and logo with a little crown there. Just a little fun nod there. But that is Coney Mall. You can obviously enhance the rides that are currently there and make them look how they did originally. But the last area I want to talk about, this might take a little bit more time than the other areas. And this is an area that has been neglected since the Paramount days. Obviously, we had the addition of Banshee, but, oh, that's a fun fact. Those trees came over from Coney Island. Yep, that is true. They did come over from Coney Island, and you could sort of replicate how it looked. So, yeah. But like I was saying, the area that I want to look into now has been neglected since Paramount. And it's just random. You have so much potential for this area, so much theming potential for what is known as Action Zone. And why they didn't take advantage of that during Banshee is beyond me. But for this area, you could honestly tie this into Kings Island history as well. And if you've ever been to the park, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you who are watching this have been to the park, but out front of Kings Island is a cemetery. It's a real cemetery where once stood a powder factory where Kings Island currently sits. So folks who have passed away are still buried there to this day. And there's a shack if you go on the, or a fort actually, over on the train ride. So when you're riding through, there's a huge fort. Behind that's a house that the park has kept for many, many years. And there was an agreement when they bought the land that they had to keep this and preserve it. So it's there on the train ride if you want to ride it. But with Kings Island's history there and the fact that they are known for their Halloween event, Halloween Haunt, and it's been an award winner for quite a few years now. The park has so much potential to make what is known as Action Zone into a haunted themed area that I'm calling the Hollow. And the Hollow, you can do so much. You can add some tombstones, some crypts. You can add even a year-round haunted house if you wanted to. Bring back something along the lines of Blackout, to where you don't need as much actors in there, but still have that Halloween feel to it. You have the Banshee there. You have the Bat. You can easily rename these current rides that are there, and you can do so much with this theming, with history still tied into it. But the Hollow. The Hollow on Haunted Hill. And that name can be found at the entrance of the Banshee, Haunted Hill. And you're entering that graveyard leading up to Haunted Hill, that haunted house where the Banshee is located. So there's so much, again, you could do with each and every one of these lands. My thinking and thought behind each of these areas are something to do with Kings Island, something tying into its history, and just the past of Kings Island. And we know, based off the 50th anniversary, Kings Island takes pride in their past, but look forward to the future. And they can enhance the future by simply upgrading and immersing each and every one of their guests into themed areas. So I'm so excited for the future of Kings Island. The future is bright, and we've seen that clearly through just this past year, the passion that they have, and that they listen to their guests, and they're always sending out different surveys. I'm always getting surveys from the park whenever I visit. Even if I'm at the park one week, and I just keep getting surveys just because I'm there so much. And it's just your general, how was the food and all that stuff. But they take those things into consideration. You could tell as well that they do care about their guests and want to give them the best experience. And they can enhance the guest experience by providing them themed quality entertainment, which they have proven to do and are looking to do, as well as Cedar Fair's overall view of that. So at this time, if you have any thoughts on any of the areas we covered, feel free to leave those in the chat. We'll stick around here for a little bit and just talk. But I do want to wrap up here soon, and just some of the things that I do want to make mention of is just be sure to follow the Islanders on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube if you haven't already. And we're going to be hopefully doing some more content here on the live and on our social media pages, to where we can continue even in the off season, just having a good time there, and just even enhance our excitement for the coming season, which is looking to be a good one. So again, feel free to leave in the comments any or the chat here on the live some ideas you might have, any thoughts on any of the lands that we covered, how we can enhance those. But also, we have our merch store still open, theislandershop.com. You can head on over there and get some Islanders merch and some Kings Island inspired merch. So we have a shirt like this where it's, I call it the Jurassic Beagle and Jurassic Bird. It's Woodstock and Snoopy on a Jurassic Park inspired shirt. We have Phantom Theater inspired stuff, Winterfest, Haunt, all that good stuff is in there. And also be on the lookout for some exciting off-island adventures this year. We're going to be taking a couple trips, or two major off-island adventures, but we do want to also do some little things here and there in Ohio. So add some dark rides. Absolutely. I'm all for dark rides, and you can do those um, in a couple areas of the park. And I do want to do another live maybe soon. I don't know if it'll be the next topic we cover, but eventually I do want to cover dark rides at the park and cover the what's it called, the Enchanted Box. That's a topic I've been wanting to do as well since I started the Islanders, and cover the Enchanted Box and talk about its history and what the future could hold for that. And then we can talk about the elephant in the park, the tan box over in Rivertown, and how they can use that. If you don't already, check out Alan Green's YouTube channel. I look up the actual name of that. He just covered a really good video on the topic of the tan box, what is formerly known as the Tomb Raider the ride. Tomb Raider the ride. His channel is. Why is it not popping up? Okay, it is Family Adventures with Alan Green. Check out his YouTube channel. He does some really good Kings Island content. Talks about the past, the present, and even some future type things. He's just a fan of the park, and he actually used to work at the park. And just an overall good dude. Check out his content. He's got some really good stuff. Not just Kings Island. He's got Dollywood content on there. It looks like he's got some. He's got former Kings Island rides. He's got it all. Check out his stuff. I enjoy watching his videos too. All right. Yeah, construction is going very quickly, I believe, over at Adventureport. So it'll be here before we know it. But I'm excited for Adventureport and what it has in store. So I'm looking forward to this season at Kings Island and just what it has in store for the events, the return of Grand Carnival. Then you got your Haunt and Winterfest, and I hope they expound upon those this year and do a little bit more, some new things, which I'm sure they'll do some new stuff for Haunt, but I'd like to see some more changes for Winterfest this year. But another topic that can be used for later is the topic of, is Phantom Theater ever going to come back? I have mixed feelings on that because I can see yes and I can see no, because Knott's Berry Farm has proven to bring back former attractions and modernize them. Why couldn't Kings Island do that? But at the same time, I could see them doing their own thing. I'd love to see a Peanuts dark ride take Boo Blaster's spot. Boo Blasters is showing its age, and no matter what people say, you could do so much to it. I think it's time for some new life in there, but yeah, Dave says he's been a former employee of Kings Island in the 90s, early 2000s, has been going since 1975. That's awesome. And the park has definitely gone through a lot of changes, but it still remained a staple, especially of the Ohio residents there. And Winterfest is our favorite. Yep. Winterfest is one of my favorite holiday events at the park. I love Winterfest. And yes, there's a lot of repeats every year, but it's just neat to see the park in a different atmosphere, a different feel. It definitely feels like Christmas there at the park. It may not be a universal Christmas, it may not be a Disney Christmas, but it's a home Christmas, if you know what I mean. It just has that home vibe, a home feel. You're home for the holidays. And that's actually one of the shirts I have on the Islander shop. But I just love it. And I'd always try to make it at the opening of the park, but there's some evenings where I wasn't able to be there for the tree lighting ceremony on that. But to come into the park with the tree already lit and it's dark outside, all the lights are on, it just takes your breath away walking into International Street, just seeing all the lights and just the beauty of the park and Christmas. So, and just the snow and all that good stuff. But love Winterfest. But we're coming up on almost an hour with the Islanders Live for this evening. I love these, and I would love to just have an episode or just a live broadcast where we can just talk in the chats and just get conversations starting and let them roll off of that. But I'm excited to see what's in store for the days ahead, and just endless possibilities for the Islanders, for Kings Island, and just the overall community. But one last thing. Yeah, we went to Mickey's Not So Scary this year, and you can't do it in one night. We just couldn't do it one night. But something we'd want to do in the future. But yeah, I'm excited for the future of the Islanders Live, and just excited to see what's to come and what's in store. So thank you all so much for joining us tonight, and we are looking forward to many more to come of the Islanders live and off-island adventures and just other content coming this year. I am super excited for this year's National Roller Coaster Day video. We are working out some of the logistics of it, and if all the pieces come together as I'm hoping they will, and this may be one of my favorite videos that we've ever done, and I'm just excited for it to actually come to fruition and come to pass there. But I did see the park hours for the spring. Yeah, am I surprised? No. Just kids are still in school. You as well, Fearsome Rider. You have a good evening. And I'm not surprised. It's spring. Kids are still in school, but thankfully we have the same summer hours. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother time. But one last thing, Ride of Your Life Ministries is something I'm part of. And the Islanders, Christian Coasters, Katie's Coaster Creations, Blaine, Chris, Warner Designs, Rachel, Brad, and the Zooter Loopers. All of us are joined together for the Ride of Your Life Ministries, and we're so excited for what's in store. We just launched a podcast on all your podcast providers called the Ride of Your Life Podcast. It's myself and Ryan Subler of Christian Coasters, where we just talk all things theme parks, Christian, and just whatever we want to talk about. This week we're going to be talking about Winter Jam, and we're excited for that. But I actually have to finish editing that episode if we want it to come out Friday, so I'm going to have to cut this live stream short, or cut it here. It wasn't really short. It was a good almost hour, half an hour right now, but I'm excited for that. And if you don't follow Ride of Your Life Ministries already, definitely check it out. We'd love to see you over there. And I'll be over there a lot more this year, but still doing content over here on the Islanders. And that's why one of the reasons I'm doing the Islanders Live this year is to where I can do things unedited but still fun and interactive. And I love being able to interact with you all and just see what your thoughts are on things too. But we're going to call it quits for the evening, but thank you all so much for joining us tonight here on the Islanders Live. We will see you all in the next live. Y'all stay safe and have a great night.